Hey guys, Edmund Pelgan here and welcome back to another Shopify SEO review. I review Shopify sites to see if they can increase their organic traffic and sales from improving their SEO. Today, I'm looking at a business called Trademutt. So let's get started. So Trademutt is a really interesting social enterprise. One of the founders, Edward Ross, reached out to me on LinkedIn when I said I was doing reviews and pitched his site. They were relaunching on Shopify Plus. So my goal of this review is, given that the site has just recently launched, is to try to identify some quick wins and opportunities for them to improve their organic traffic and rank for terms that are going to bring them business. As a social enterprise, these guys don't just do things for money. They actually want to make an impact. And it's a really great brand and it's a really great story. And if, in fact, you go to the website and click on the impact page, there's a great number of issues that they look after and they support. You know, not only mental health for blue-collar workers and tradies, but other things too. You know, specifically, one thing that I think is a great cause is Sendable, obviously supporting that organisation as well as She Rescue. So great organisation. So anyway, back to the review. So the goal here is these guys want to make change. They want to impact the world, and they've got a great cause, a great message, great story. Underlying that, obviously, is that they're going to sell workwear, fundamentally workwear, tradies workwear. And so the goal here is how do we improve that? How do we get them visibility? How do we help them make more sales? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at some technical issues on the site, and then I'm going to go through some of the opportunities, the growth opportunities. So the site is great. Aesthetically, it looks fantastic. The products are good. The images are fantastic. They've got a great amount of social proof building up on the front page. So it's really good. The content is excellent. If you click through to the Shop Now functionality and you look at the products and then you click on the product itself, one of my personal preferences is you'll see the URL is the product page URL that's showing on the site is the default /collections/ retrospective, in this case, /products. My preference is to link to the canonical product URL, only from the perspective that it minimizes the distribution of link juice, as it were, to help those pages rank. Let me show you an example. If we go to another Shopify site called Yellow, let's try that again. Yellow Gosh, I can't even spell. Let's try that. Yellow Octopus. If we go to Yellow Octopus, you'll see it's a gift site. They've cleaned up their URL issue here. So if you click on Gifts for Men and you navigate to, let's get to the product quickly. So that's the collections page there, and then you click on the product itself, you'll see that the product URL is the one that comes up. It's just a small thing, personal preference. I would rather have the product URLs appearing rather than this collections URL, because at the end of the day, the product one is going to rank. So looking at the product pages themselves, they've got a great amount of content. That's excellent. Now, some of the titles on the site will need further optimizing. And I'll give you an example here if we look at the men's lifestyle, for example, the men's lifestyle collection, if you hover over the title, you can see that it literally is the name of the category, men's lifestyle Trademutt. Now, obviously, they want to target workwear and terms like that are bringing them business for people who aren't familiar with the Trademutt brand. And so there's opportunities across the site to improve the way that the collections target the keywords, because in this case, men's lifestyle could mean anything, but it could be men's lifestyle workwear and clothing, something like that. So there's a number of opportunities like that to improve. Another issue I spotted was if you click on the accessories URL, the collection is women's, so I don't understand why there's an inconsistency there where it should probably read just accessories, and that would be the top level collection for all of the accessories that are on the site. And if you go through it, you can see, for example, headwear. So you can see the page title is just headwear. So there might be, based on the keyword research, there might be more specific language around all of these accessories as well as the workwear categories that would allow them to target specific workwear phrases. And if I just go to Google and I search for, let's just say, workwear Trademutt, And I always like to do actual analyses of the search engine results listing so you can see what the content looks like. So you can see Trademutt Workwear, they're running shopping ads. Now here's the homepage title tag. So it just says Trademutt Workwear. I think that there is probably an opportunity to improve that page title and the meta description, to focus on the messaging, to focus on the positioning, and to expand the keyword research. It might be Trademutt Workwear for men and women, making change, supporting mental health, something like that, that is going to quickly position them and allow them to not only expand the targeting, but position themselves, as a social enterprise. And then as you go through, you can start to see some of the collections here. For example, in this one, the men's shirts collections has sort of a double optimization. It's got the category men and then men's work shirts. So it's a little bit inconsistent and messy. And then there's also another men's workwear collection here. So, it seems to me that there might very well be an issue of potential, what they call keyword cannibalization, where you have categories, or in this case, collections on Shopify that are chasing the same keyword phrases. Because in this case here, we've got men's workwear. The collection is men's workwear. The page title is men's workwear. But if we go back to the search results, if we go further down, there is another collection here, which is the workwear collection, right? So this is obviously the very top level collection, workwear, and you would expect it to include men's and women's. But this is the issue. Challenges happen when you have too many pages chasing the right keywords. So some planning needs to be done here. So if I go to, let's say, women's workwear, let's just check that. So women's workwear, the collection is great. The page title is women's workwear, so that's great. And if we look at the on-page optimizations, so it's just women's workwear, and there's no meta description. So this is what I'm talking about. There are pages on the site that don't have a meta description, and that's a good opportunity to convert people who are looking for the product in the search results to clicking through to the website. So there's certainly that opportunity to improve. There are a few hangover URLs that are in the index. For example, if you search for Trademutt swimwear, right, there is a collection here. If I click on it, page not found. So that needs redirecting. And don't get me wrong, a lot of old redirections have been put in place, and they're redirecting fine. This was just one that I managed to find. So all in all, there are opportunities to improve the on-page optimization to allow it to expand beyond what they're currently targeting. Now, what does that look like? Let's have a look at what the site currently ranks for in organic search. So what you see in front of you now is a screenshot, a tool called SEMrush, which shows the organic visibility, right? So in Australia, visibility for 359 keywords, and it's growing and it's increasing each month, which is great. Now, come down to the top organic keyword phrases, and what you'll see is that the majority of terms that the site is ranking for at this stage are brand, Trademutt shirts, Trademutt hats, and that is a good thing. Look at the amount of branded search they have, 4,400, which is excellent. And then as you get further down, you'll start to see that they're optimized. They are ranking for other non-branded terms, things like tradie clothes, tradie workwear, right? And this is really interesting because there are, as far as I see it, there are two big keyword opportunities in this space. There's workwear, right, which has been around for ages and has some very established competitors. And then there's this language around tradie. And that's because there is a competing brand out there, which is not a social enterprise, but it is, well, if I can find the blooming thing, tradie.com.au. Let's pull that up. Now, you've seen these guys. They've got ads on TV. They're in, let's try that again. So tradie, the Aussiest brand ever. Interesting, they've got a tradie.com. Okay, so this is the competing brand out there. And because they've spent a lot of top-line advertising and they've got some celebrities, promoting their undies and product, it's led to a lot of increased branded search. So if you go to the keyword research tools and you look at the term tradies, you can start to see that there's a ton of tradie underwear, tradie workwear, tradie undies, tradie heaven, tradie, etc., right? Tradie work pants. So from my mind, there's two opportunities. That's the tradies language. And then if we go over to workwear, look at all of the workwear searches. Workwear itself is 33,000. Women's workwear near me, tradie workwear, right? So you can see that there's a bit of an opportunity for both the mid to long-term rankings to rank for workwear terms, but also given that the competitor is responsible for driving an increase in the non-branded searches around tradie, right? You can optimize for that terminology as well, because tradie has been a generic Australian term for years, right? some people might think, oh, if you're optimizing a page title for tradie, they might come after you, but that's not the case, right? For example, you might create a page title that targets workwear to say, Australian men's workwear and tradie clothing. See what I did there? Incorporating tradie, incorporating workwear. So there's great keyword opportunities for both tradie terms as well as workwear terms. So coming back to the keyword volumes, you can see they've got a ton of branded search, and if you keep going down, you can start to see that there are some keyword phrases around. Sorry, I just spotted the term camel toe socks. That's just funny. There's a ton of search volume around mental health, etc., which is great, right? So really good. The site's structured well, etc. It just needs some tweaking and optimizing. And if we look at some of the competitors, or in this case here, where are we? Tradie. You can look at the keyword phrases that they rank for, and each of these terms that they rank for that is built around tradie search, which in my mind is a generic term. Those are also keyword opportunities that you want to rank for as well. Because at the end of the day, these guys are a social enterprise. They want to make more, they want to sell more so that they can have a larger impact on the causes that are important to them. So we need to this site needs to chase those non-branded rankings, because they're going to get a lot of branded search. People love this company, people love the brand, people love the issue. They will search for them. They'll get press, they will get all sorts of PR and blogs writing about them, so they'll get that branded awareness. But you want to leverage that awareness, turn it into links to boost this site's visibility and rankings for non-branded terms. Now, the other thing that we want to look at from a rankings perspective is, what does the backlink profile look like? Now, I'm just using SEMrush here, which has a smaller link database. And what you can see here is Trademutt has 182 referring domains or unique websites linking to them, 17,800 backlinks. So a great start. You can click through to the referring domains or the sites that are linking, and you can see who's linking and why. And inevitably, there's a lot of there's a lot of linking around the cause, which is great. And there's also a lot of industry sites that they're getting links from as well, right? I think that this space lends itself to the creation of really unique and interesting content. There was another brand that we did some work for ages ago, and the owner was very prolific with their blog, I Seek Plant, and they published a lot of interesting and unique, funny content, and the audience loves it. So there's a real opportunity for Trademutt to create unique content. Now, speaking of content, if you come to the site, you can see there's a link to MuttHub. Now, MuttHub is obviously their content platform or their blog, and you can see it here. Now, I've done a quick review of this, and I don't want to make this video too long, but the MuttHub is built on Squarespace, and that's neither here nor there. My preference would be a more generic platform like WordPress, but that's just me. That's not... if someone is familiar with the tool and knows how to make it work, then stick with the tool that you know. My only thought is that there are some issues with the implementation of the blog. So for example, in this case here, you see I've clicked through this article, Tradies Health is Shithouse, and you can see that the URL has some strange text there, and the URL structure is incorporating this, what would be, a category called recent. So my preference would be a URL that is themutthub.com/Tradies Health is Shithouse, a short, tight URL, and not that strange, weird, that strange URL. It's not great for search engine optimization, in the sense that if you share that on social media, no one's likely to share it. And the content is great on this site, so certainly opportunities to improve the blog as well. I've actually popped in the MuttHub into SEMrush, and you can see, it's starting to show up for organic terms. It's got visibility for 11 terms, but the rankings aren't on page one. They're just inadvertent keyword phrases, and they're not sort of big head terms. But that being said, right, this is a content piece to help educate and to inform and entertain the audience, which is tradies. So the content doesn't necessarily need to rank for specific terms itself. The shop does, but this content on the MuttHub could certainly be used to generate a lot of social awareness and social sharing and stuff. In the same way, I Seek Plant's blog, I think it's the Flapping Mouth, has a lot of shared content on social as well. So what else have I got here to go through? Collections. Come back to the MuttHub collections page. Let's go to trade. So one of the other things I noticed on the site is that they've got a great range of, let's try this again. Trademutt. On the Trademutt website, they've got these really interesting and unique collections, right? So in this case here, you've got the retrospective collection. These prints here: Ventura, MFG, Pfaff, Lloyd, etc. Right? Where is the limited edition one? Retrospective. Retrospective is really well optimized, right? You can see they've got a great amount of copy and content on the page, which is excellent. Tells you what it's for, what it's all about, etc. My only issue with the page is that the page title, once again, is just retrospective. So that can certainly be improved. Retrospective, workwear, for trademark, whatever it is. I think there's an opportunity to improve the keyword targeting, not only to include retrospective, but also to include some of the keyword targets as well, and obviously write a compelling meta description. The other thing is, if I go to the other collections like Ventura, for example, or Lloyd, I'm assuming these are specific styles, etc. Right? These ones don't have content like the retrospective one does. So there's certainly opportunities to add more content on that. Tell me about Lloyd. Tell me why it's unique. Tell me the story. So add that onto those pages as well. What else? Yeah. So that's kind of it. It's a great product, great brand. It's got a great cause behind it, and the wins or the issues that I've pointed out are simply small optimization tweaks that will improve the user experience, and B, allow the pages to be better optimized to target those variety of non-branded terms out there that they may not currently already rank for, and to allow them to expand beyond just the branded search. People who know Trademutt searching for Trademutt will land on their page. Let's expand that into workwear. Let's expand that into tradie searches and terminologies, right? Each of these collections is an opportunity for you to drop a net into the fish of keyword phrases, as it were, and catch and rank for those terms. But all in all, a really wonderful brand. If you are a trader, you should buy this stuff and support it. And I love the fact that men today can wear loud, colorful, interesting clothing like this on a site. Whereas I remember, in my parents' day, some of the old guys are just a little bit gruff and tough, and they may not have worn it. And I think that's a really interesting development in how young men today are seeing themselves and seeing brands like this. It's really cool. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave them below. Thanks so much.